A few years ago, if someone had told you that AI would be creating logos, illustrations, and whole branding campaigns, most designers would have laughed at you. And now it's normal. And honestly, some, not all, are pretty impressive. I've used AI for certain things. You've probably used AI for certain things. And it feels like every year it is slowly getting better. So naturally, all graphic designers have been asking the same question. If AI could make design in seconds, what is even the point of learning graphic design? And that's exactly what I want to talk about in this video today. Because AI could generate designs incredibly fast, but there's still one thing that it can't do. And that difference might completely change the way you think about becoming a graphic designer. Before we start roasting AI, let's give it a little bit of credit. It is actually quite useful for speeding up certain parts of the creative process. Need mood boards? Done. You need a new color palette idea? Done. You need to quickly remove a background? Done. Generate icons? Okay, now we're getting a little iffy. Expand an image? Brainstorming concepts? It's amazing at all of those things. Honestly, all those tasks that I just listed out, it used to take designers much longer to do them, and now they could happen in seconds, and that's incredible to a certain extent. The funny thing is that technology has always changed design. There was a time when designers drew everything by hand, and then computers showed up, then Photoshop, then Illustrator, then Figma. AI is simply the next evolution in creative tools. So no, I don't think that AI is going to replace graphic designers, but I think it will change our workflow. But here's where things get interesting. Because making something is not the same as designing something. This is probably the biggest misconception that most beginners have. People always think that design is just about making something that looks nice. It actually is not. Graphic design solves problems. Let's imagine for a moment that a restaurant hires you. They are not paying you because they want a pretty menu, even if that is what they tell you in the brief. What they are actually paying you for is that customers can't find their drinks. People aren't ordering the profitable items, or even maybe their branding feels outdated. The design exists to solve problems. Could AI make a beautiful menu? Maybe. But does AI know which dishes have the highest profit margin and therefore feature those? Does AI understand the customers that come to the restaurant? Does AI know that elderly people have a hard time reading a tiny font? Or that tourists might not speak the local language? Not unless someone tells it. And that's the key. Good design starts before you even open the software. Here is what AI struggles with: making decisions, not random decisions, good decisions. When I am designing something, I'm constantly asking, who is this for? What do they need? What emotion should they feel? What information matters the most? How long will someone spend looking at it? And what action do we want them to take afterward? Those questions, they shape every single design decision. Typography, spacing, hierarchy, color, even what stays and what gets removed. Those choices aren't magic. AI doesn't just wake up one day and simply decide, you know what? I think that the audience would respond better to this warm color palette. It responds to prompts. Designers respond to people. That is a huge difference. One of my favorite design quotes: your taste develops faster than your skills do. And I think that's so true. The more you see, the more you start noticing the tiny details. Why one logo feels trustworthy while the other one feels playful. How a layout guides your eye naturally. Why another design feels confusing. That is not something that develops overnight. It comes from years of observing things, making mistakes, learning psychology, learning marketing, getting feedback, trying again. That is what people mean by developing your eye as a designer. AI could remix patterns that it learned, but taste, it comes from experience, and experience changes the way that you make decisions. This is something that I didn't fully appreciate until I started working professionally. No two clients are the same. Even if they ask for the exact same project, let's say that two different coffee shops need a logo. Sounds simple, right? except one wants to attract university students. The other one wants retirees looking for a quiet morning. Same project, but completely different audience. Different color, different typography, different messaging. Two completely different personalities, even though they're asking for technically the same thing. As a designer, it is not our job to make a logo that we personally like best. It is our job to make a logo that works for their audience. That requires a level of empathy and listening, asking questions, and I believe even challenging assumptions. That is a conversation, it's not a prompt. And this is where I think people get nervous. They see AI generating thousands of images and think maybe creativity doesn't matter anymore. I actually think that creativity matters so much more now because everyone has access to the same tools. The biggest advantage becomes your ideas. Everyone has a camera in their pocket now. Did photography disappear? No. The people with the strongest vision stand out. And the same exact thing is happening right now in design. Everyone can generate something, but not everyone can recognize what's worth keeping. And this is where designers become editors, curators, creative directors, problem solvers even. Maybe not for the reason you originally thought. Learn typography, branding, hierarchy. Learn about marketing and psychology. Learn how viewers actually interact with information. Because those skills don't disappear when technology changes. They become even more valuable. Software changes, trends change, even AI changes. But good design principles? They've survived it all. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it is this. AI could generate options, but it can't replace your judgment. It doesn't replace your curiosity. It doesn't replace your ability to understand another human being. And honestly, that is the very thing that has always been the heart of design. Not making things look cool, helping people communicate, helping businesses connect with customers, helping ideas become clear. AI is a fantastic tool, but I use it as just that. A tool. But the more that AI grows, the more value I think us as designers have. Not because we click buttons faster, but because we know why we're clicking them in the first place. If you're just starting out in graphic design, don't let AI convince you that you have no place here. There absolutely is. In fact, I think this is one of the most exciting times to actually be a designer. Because designers who have a strong understanding of the fundamentals and combine it with modern tools are the most valuable right now. Learn the principles, stay curious, and keep creating. And let AI be your assistant, not your replacement. But okay guys, that's all I have for now. This is a topic that I get asked about all the time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!